This theme park is abandoned, rusting away, completely forgotten. Thousands of families came here every year. Something that changed this park forever. What could have caused an entire theme park to be abandoned? The theme park that went underwater.
It was once a place of happiness and laughter. Now it's abandoned. From this view, you can really see. It's like a wasteland up here. Just a shell of what it used to be.
But to understand how this happened, we first have to go back to where it all began. New Orleans, Louisiana. Back in 2000, this wasn't an abandoned ghost town. It was a brand new theme park called Jazzland. Built to bring world-class thrills to New Orleans, thousands of guests poured through these gates, excited to experience the city's newest attraction. At first, everything seemed perfect. But behind the excitement, this park was already facing problems. The park was losing money. It looked like Jazzland could be heading toward a very different future than anyone had imagined. Just when it seemed like Jazzland might be running out of options, Six Flags stepped in. In 2002, Six Flags took over the park and gave it a new identity. Jazzland was now Six Flags New Orleans. And with one of the biggest names in the theme park industry behind it, the park finally had another chance. New attractions were added. The park was being improved, and things were starting to look up. Maybe this was the comeback Jazzland needed, but then something happened that nobody could have planned for. A massive hurricane was approaching New Orleans. Its name was Katrina. At first, nobody knew just how devastating it would be, but as the storm moved toward the city, the situation became much worse. Katrina slammed into Louisiana, and New Orleans was hit by catastrophic flooding. And sitting right in the middle of it all was Six Flags New Orleans. I have a few real clips recorded from that day that I will play for you all right now. When the storm finally passed, the real nightmare was just beginning. The park had been completely submerged in flood water. And at first, Six Flags hadn't completely given up. They began assessing the damage and working with their insurance company to figure out just how badly the park had been hit. The hope was still there. Maybe it could be rebuilt. Maybe the gates would open again. But the damage was far worse than anyone expected. The salt water had destroyed buildings, damaged rides, and left much of the park in ruins. And as the months went by, the park remained closed. Then came the announcement. Six Flags would not reopen the park for the 2006 season. And suddenly there were no longer a reopening date. There was just an empty theme park, waiting for someone to decide what would happen to it. Let's fast forward to 2023. After sitting abandoned for nearly 2 decades, the future of the old Six Flags property was finally beginning to change. A developer called Bayou Phoenix was selected to redevelop the site, but they weren't bringing Six Flags back. Instead, they had something completely different planned. A massive multi-use development worth more than $500 million. The plans included a huge indoor and outdoor water park, a youth sports complex, hotels, restaurants, retail, and even a film production studio. The idea was to take a place that had been sitting empty since Hurricane Katrina and turn it into something completely new. But there's something strangely fitting about that, because the original Six Flags New Orleans was built to give the city a place to escape. And after everything that happened here, the land may finally get another chance. The rides that once stood here are almost gone. The crowds are long gone. And the Six Flags name is just a memory. But after more than 20 years, this forgotten piece of New Orleans may finally have a future. Maybe one day people will walk through those gates again.
The plan to redevelop the old Six Flags site has reached a critical milestone and is now one step closer to progress. Today, the city of New Orleans announcing a development agreement between Bayou Phoenix and the New Orleans Redevelopment Authority for the former Six Flags site in New Orleans East. Locally owned Bayou Phoenix won the bid to redevelop that site almost 2 years ago. Nora is also committing $1 million towards the project, as well as maintenance and security at the park. The old amusement park was shuttered during Hurricane Katrina and has become an eyesore in New Orleans East.
First steps are going to have to develop a master plan and produce an economic impact study along with a public meeting for the community. We'll do that this month, and so we can get this project jump-started.
The proposed plan calls for a sports park, a recreational area, a hotel, as well as other business development. To see exclusive video from inside the park, go to WDSU.com. Back in 2021, only our cameras were allowed inside the park, the first crew allowed in 17 years.
The story of Six Flags New Orleans is one that probably won't be forgotten anytime soon. And who knows, maybe one day people will walk through these gates again, but not for the same reason. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one. Please make sure to like and subscribe if you guys enjoyed.